All right, guys, welcome to Bridges of Belief. We have,
Joshua Coach Badu.
Poya?
and we have Australia's own, very own Indian Andrew Tate, Shreyes. Shreyes. And we're going to introduce you in a second a little bit more, but Shreyes, I have to say we're really excited to have you on here. And here's what I want to say. You're a very, very big personality online now. You've got a lot of followers. You've got a lot of conversations happening about you. And what's really interesting is I've heard some mean things said about you. And I've also seen a lot of people stand up and say a lot of good things about you. But what's really interesting is my personal opinion of you. Anyone who's really met you in real life, we were just like, me and Poya were like, he's like the nicest, humblest, like polite person. Even when you come through the door, you shake my hand, you give me a look, you're very respectful, very polite. And I feel like in many ways you're misunderstood. So this conversation is really just to give you an opportunity to tell a different side of the story, give people a real dose of who Shreyes really is, right? So with that in mind, I have my first question, a question that someone called me and told me that I had to ask. And this is the most important question of the night. You know what it is? Are you on steroids?
Okay, before I answer this question, I'm going to take off my glasses because I cannot see.
Yeah. All good, all good.
Nah, I am not on steroids. I'm
Yeah.
completely natural.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my question, right? To me, like I've talked to some people and I've asked them their own stories, and they get pissed off. They're like,
They get,
you
yeah.
know, it's like, to me, it's like it's a compliment if someone's asking you. So if someone asks you if you're on steroids, do you feel like it's a good thing? Like
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's a high level of understanding, right?
Yeah.
But if you take it the wrong way, then that just shows the level of understanding.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cool. So I'll take you to the next question, and really this is where we want to like hear your backstory and stuff. So my next question is this: what's your backstory and how did you get started in the social media game?
Backstory is in life story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll give a little bit about it. I had two amazing parents, still alive. I had an older brother, passed away. But before my older brother passed away at a very young age. But my older brother, before he passed away, instilled in me a lot of values that to this day I still remember and I still hold true. And I believe that's why I am the way I am with my character. So I give all glory to him.
Wow.
At a young age, my parents would put me into certain extracurricular activities, like a lot of sports, little athletics, soccer, tennis, even community sort of things, groups. And I'd be wondering, like, why are they doing these things, you know? But later on, after a while, I realized that this was actually one of the best things that they did for me.
Right. You felt like you were
once
being forced when you're going to all the sports and stuff.
Yes.
Right.
But I realized that later on, it was such a good thing for me because it taught me a lot of stuff at a young age. So
Right. Do you want to take any questions?
Just real quick.
Yeah.
Sorry, Shreyes, do you want to just move in closer to the mic?
yep.
Sorry. Perfect.
That's all
Yeah.
I think it's kind of an add-on to the previous question, which is like you as a child, your personality, things you went through, and how you've evolved and how you are as a man. What are some of the key differences you feel like has shifted in your mindset and your attitude when you're a child versus how you are as an adult, as a young adult, and how you kind of carry yourself now? Is there anything that kind of stands out to you
Like,
most?
what's the difference? Yeah.
Great question. I believe now the biggest difference is my character that I've improved over the years. Also my confidence and also my understanding of the world and people and a little bit of psychology. I feel like that has changed me into who I am today. And I'm always constantly trying to learn and improve all of those things.
Awesome.
So now you're in the social media game. How did that first begin? Because we all have some familiarity with each other. And it's been very interesting to see your rise on Instagram. And are you also on TikTok as well? Or?
Correct, TikTok, yes.
Okay, which platform are you biggest on, by the way?
I feel like at the moment it is Instagram. Before it was TikTok, but now it is Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you get into the social media game? What was kind of like the not the backstory, but like, yeah, what was the process behind it? How did you started to put out content? How did you feel initially versus how it is now? Like, what was that evolution like for you?
Great question again. At the start, at a young age, I always used to look at content creators and people on YouTube that made content and did interviews and things like that and think like, wow, that's amazing. That's insane level of confidence. I would like to do that one day. I would be like, that's impossible. Until I started developing like a stronger sense of identity. And it got to the point where I would send literally, I hit a bit of a rock bottom, and then I started to improve myself, and then I would record myself talking videos just because I liked it. And I sent it once to one of my friends, and God bless him, because he's the reason that I've started this content. He told me, he was like, Shreyes, that's actually really good. I would watch that, bro. You should post that. And then I was like, and then I was like, nah, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how I feel. And then I just posted on my story. And then I think everyone sort of just tripped out, because they were like, what the heck? Like, it was kind of random, because it was only two of my followers, people that knew me.
Yeah.
And then they're like, no way, but a bit of intrigue. But then from then on, I just fell in love with making videos, and I just kept making them. And we're here today.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. What drives you most now? Like, what's you being online and being able to have the traction you now get? Do you have an end goal that you're looking at, or a major milestone, or anything you're trying to get to?
Well, like, is it a business thing?
Yeah.
Is it like a mission? Is there a message that you're trying to convey? Like, what's your main agenda with social media?
Definitely now there is obviously a strategy.
Yeah.
It is now a business now, because this is going to be, well, essentially this is my main how do I say it, campaign now. Like, it's this is what's paying the bills now.
Yeah, wow.
Before it was construction, project management, but now I'm in a position where I want to give my all into this, and make something of myself with this. Obviously, I'm going to use social media as a platform to be able to reach more people and try and influence more people that are went through the same problems that I went through at a young age, and just try and change some lives in the process. That's all.
Awesome. Okay, so here's something I really, really want to know, and I haven't heard you talk about this too much, right? So for me personally, everyone, I think every guy goes through almost like a hero's journey, right? And that means, like, for example, if you watch a movie or if you watch an anime, there's a character that goes through this really big trouble and then fucking transforms him, and then he kind of takes it to the next level in regards to who he is. He discovers who he really is. Yeah. So for me personally, in high school, I struggled badly with girls, right? Everyone else would get girls. I would struggle to get girls. And it made me like really badly want to figure out what made people popular, what made people get girls. So got into, there's a book called The Game. I don't know if you've heard of it. So this is the thing that kicked off the whole pickup community, right? And approaching girls and all this kind of stuff. So I read that book, and then I started trying it by myself at shopping centers and in my dad's Indian restaurant till I built my confidence. I went to the gym, and then I started teaching other friends how to do it. Yeah. So the thing that started my journey of really getting to where I want to be in personal development is actually struggling badly with girls, right? And I believe that behind every like purpose is like some sort of pain that you experience. So my question is like, what's the pain that took you to where you are now?
Great question. And thank you for sharing that, because that's not easy to get that off the chest. I've read that book too, Neil Strauss, The Game.
Oh, nice.
Mad book.
Yeah.
And I have some questions after on some of the ideas in that book for you. But I've had a lot of pain in my life, but I don't like to use that as an excuse. But like I wasn't happy with who I was. I would always look at other people and be like, compare and be like, why did God make me like this? Why wasn't I like this person?
Was it the body? Was it the personality? Was it the confidence?
It was a combination of everything.
Right.
Combination of everything. And then it got to the point where I made myself into the person I always wanted to be. And I'm still continually like trying to make myself into that person.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Got you. Cool.
So I want to get. Oh, sorry. First of all, you said you had some questions about the game.
Yeah. Tell us that.
Yeah. Beautiful. Now that in the game, they sort of, it's like, those guys, right? They weren't able to sort of keep the girl because there was something missing. Yes, they were able to attain her, attract her, keep her for a little while, but how did you find that in terms of
keeping
to keep the girl,
keeping a relationship,
keep a relationship?
That's and I would say technically, because I've been in a relationship for 12 years, I've been able to do that. I was almost like at my peak in picking up girls, and that's when I met Lisa. So I'm very glad that she kind of like nipped my fiesta in the bud. But I would say that it's her ability to feel safe in who I was, right? I think a woman is attracted to someone, not just, first up, but in a relationship, to someone who they can feel like they can be led by someone who's like, hey, you're making the decisions for me. Okay, you're going to take us here. You have a vision. You have a goal. You have confidence. You know how to deal with problems. You know how to be resilient. So I feel like if a girl can see that you show masculine traits like problem solving, like confidence, like decision making, and you can lead her and say, hey, here's where we're going. Here's where we're struggling. Here's where I'm taking you. I think that she'll remain attracted to you and she'll want to stay in a relationship with you. You know what I mean? And I feel like you can pretend to show that in the beginning, but in order to keep that, you have to really work on yourself. That's why I think a lot of guys can get girls into bed by pretending and showing those qualities, but in order to keep a woman, I feel like they have to really be that person. And that's why you read in the game, there's a thing called inner game, where it's like really building the character of who you are. Like, that's my perspective.
I've never read the game. Never read the game, but is there a pattern of people in that book not keeping the females that they attracted? Was that like a
I think
trend?
he struggled with that.
There was
Yeah.
there was a big debate about that. But yeah, that's why I wanted to ask. But yeah, I'm glad that you said that, because the higher level of understanding and 12 years relationship shows. So
Thanks, bro. Thank you. You know what? Speaking of that, we do have to ask this question. We were excited to ask this question. What is the ideal woman for you?
what is the
ideal
woman for you?
Yeah. How would you describe the ideal woman for you?
Now, and
What
now
characteristics?
are you not being superficial enough right now? Do you want to know the ideal woman as far as personality, or are we looking for the ideal woman as far as looks?
Yeah. Because we saw you ask girls this question, right? Where you're asking them, what's the ideal guy, or what are you attracted in? What would you say is your answer to that question?
It's a very broad question. But I'll just say the best mother for my children, caring, loving. That's all. Nothing too much.
Right. What if she's a mother and everything, but maybe she's not that attractive?
She's not that attractive.
Yeah.
As long as she's attractive to me, that's all that matters.
Okay. Love that. Yeah, cool.
Do you know, like, what was like your first content where you felt like it went viral and you saw a shift happen as far as like your profile online?
Okay. Great question. I think the first one was in the physique. I remember I used to post videos on Instagram, but they wouldn't really hit as they do now. Then I moved to TikTok because people told me that TikTok is better, like Instagram's dying.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, whatever. And then I moved to TikTok, and then that's when I saw a big spike in a lot of hate, and then a lot more viewership, way more viewership than Instagram. I think the most I got was 30,000 at the time.
TikTok goes crazy.
Instagram.
Yeah.
And then now TikTok, the first video I posted, I think was like 250K.
Wow.
So it was a lot.
Okay.
A lot more. So I wasn't used to it. But then there was also a lot of hate that came with that, and a lot of different comments. A lot more people started to see, oh, that's a guy from TikTok, or a lot of people. But yeah.
Was this before or after the being on the balloon experiment? Because that
Way
was
before.
that was way before.
Way before.
Oh, the
Almost,
balloon
yeah.
experiment is way before.
The balloon experiment was so I believe there was 2 years of me making content.
Yeah.
Or stopping, and then I went and then I jumped on the balloon thing. So
Were you surprised with the balloon experiment where they popped? I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, for Short Kings, you looked sharp, you were shredded, and they would. It just still wasn't good enough.
You know what my wife said? My wife watched this because me and her watched this together, and she just like, he's so respectful. He's confident. He dealt with this situation so well. Like, what's wrong with these? She's like, what's wrong with these?
I feel like a
And
lot
was
of girls change their mind after you start talking to
Yeah,
them.
that's true.
I
That's true.
observed.
Yeah.
A lot of were like, oh, I popped too soon.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
There was a few where
I
we were
thought
watching it
so.
together. I'm like, oh yeah, she's definitely changed her mind. I'm actually curious. Like, have you heard about rejection sensitivity?
yes, yeah.
Yeah, with like, I think people with ADHD have it where we're very like people that can be very. Well, I have ADHD. We can be very sensitive to rejection.
Yeah.
What's been your journey with rejection?
Yeah.
And how did you, because the way you dealt with Red Balloon, I was very impressed.
So
Like-
interestingly enough, just to let you know, I've talked to a lot of people who have sent me some memes. Oh, who is this guy? Do you know this guy?
Yeah.
Sometimes bagging you out some of the content you
course,
suppose.
yeah.
But when I talk to them, I was like, "Have you watched this?" And they're like, "I did watch that." And you know what? I do have to respect that. I've had 4 people tell me when they saw that, they were like, "I respected the way he showed up there," and that's saying something, But yeah, what is your journey and stuff with rejection and yeah?
I look, obviously at the start, you like a girl in high school. Sorry, you're at the high school party. You know, you see her dancing, but you're too afraid to make a move. And then when you finally suck her up the courage, you see her grinding on another guy, and then you're like,
That's a
it's
canon
too late.
event.
You're like, it's too
canon
late.
event.
So
Reminds me
I
of
think,
Sunday school.
with the rejection sensitivity, I believe like you have to condition yourself, and you gotta. The more you do it, the more you realize that like it's not the end of the world. She could have just not liked me because she's had something on her mind. There's so many different factors as to why, you know. So yeah, once I built that up, yeah, I have no fear in terms of if I see a woman that I like, I will go and introduce myself.
So was it just like repeated exposure to rejection that kind of helped you build that inner confidence?
Definitely, and I think that's with anything. It goes with sales as well. You know, you take.
Do you do sales? Have you done sales?
I have done a little bit of sales before.
Yeah.
A lot of cold calling. In person. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still not off the balloon experiment though, so because I was still shocked that they all were so negative about it, to the point where in my mind I go, this is either staged, like it just doesn't seem like reality to me, or I'm like, we're cooked, like we have no hope.
Do you think it's also just the people they pick?
It can be that too, but like
They do. They kind of. I think they pick people who are kind of.
I want to know Shreyes' thoughts on that. Like, were you surprised on how that ended? We like I come here,
that's a good
I'm
question.
dressed well,
Yeah.
I'm in
Yeah.
great shape,
Yeah.
and you guys aren't giving me at least give me a chance.
Yeah.
At least taking me out. Like, were you surprised by it?
There was definitely an element of surprise, but I was also very happy with how it went. Despite most people saying the girls popped their balloons, but I was happy with how I handled it. That's where I was happy with. But in terms of the girls, I have nothing at all bad to say about them. They have their choices, preferences, but also, you know, they're on a show. They want to, you know, look a certain way, so I don't blame them. But the one girl that I found somewhat attractive, after the show, they interviewed everyone, right? And then they asked me a question. They sat me down. They're like, Shreyes, was there any girls that you found attractive? And then I said, yeah, there was one girl, the Middle Eastern girl. And then they all sort of looked in the crowd. They're like, who's the Middle Eastern girl? And there was no Middle Eastern girl. And then she's like, oh, wait, is it me? The Greek one, the really short one. And then I said, yeah, her. I found her really nice. And then whatever. And then I got out of there. But yeah, I'm glad like I shot my shot. And yeah, that's it. And you know, the funny thing, she followed me on Instagram after. So I was like, you know, the body language doesn't lie. So
Yeah.
And I always do wonder, like, do they come after the show and be like, you know what, that was for the cameras, but you know, after the show, you know, maybe we can try to go around two, or.
Do you reckon? Okay, I have to ask this question. Do you reckon there's a bit of Indian prejudice happening there?
definitely.
You reckon?
Yeah,
What makes you say that?
Because there was one girl that was interviewed, and then one of the hosts sort of like asked her, you don't like tan guys, you don't like dark guys? And then she's like, I'm not that kind, you know? But I don't blame her. That's just her preference. That's her choice. That's probably what she's dealt with in the past, you know? So
Yeah.
We've had conversations about Indian hate, not on the podcast. At least I don't know if it's happened on the podcast.
No, we haven't talked about the podcast.
But offline questions.
No, but I'm happy we can talk about it.
Yeah, no, it's nothing crazy. And I think you guys are telling me like, hey, like you and Sati were telling me, hey, it's bad out there, right?
Oh.
And I was like, what? No, people love Indians. I was like, it's not. I was blind to it because it wasn't on my algorithm at that time. And then my algorithm got crazy and stuff. I started seeing some crazy reels come up.
Reels.
Like places, them wanting to get it bombed and saying like, God, I'm so happy. I'm not going to go into all the details of it. But you have said in some of your videos, I'm going to make it cool to be Indian again. So I guess two questions. One is, I'm curious about that philosophy and how you see that, how you see yourself achieving that. But also, why do you think there is so much Indian hate? Why has this become a thing that's like allowed on
I have
the
a lot to
internet?
say on this, but I want to hear Shreyes' answer.
great question. I think there's a lot of hate on Indians because as a majority race, they're very, I would say, soft-spoken. People feel like they're not strong people, even though they're extremely intelligent. They're all like business anarchists. They're at the top, like CEOs of Google. Most of them are like, you know, Indian, things like that. But yeah, I feel like that's why people just see them as an easy target.
Easy target.
In that sense. So
Yeah.
I
I feel like, I don't know if you saw my video that went viral on this. So I posted a video basically, and it was a funny video, but basically I was being a bit cheeky. And I basically say, you know, you all hate Indians. And, you know, you do this to Indians, you say this to Indians, and we don't fight back. But eventually we're all going to be Indian.
What did you say?
So basically, I just
You're
basically,
like,
I
Mum
just
is gonna
basically
bring
said-
home an Indian
No,
boy
no,
or
no. I
something?
basically, so I said, you know, you hate Indians and you struggle with Indians, and you know, you say this and you say that. But first, we started with the Portos, then the 7-Elevens, and the CEO of India of Google is
CEO of
India,
India.
and there's going to be Indians everywhere.
CEO of India.
And basically, I was like, you know, and one day when your parents get divorced, mummy's going to bring home an Indian boy. So I was being a bit cheeky with it, but I feel like sometimes this is what I've said to Josh. I genuinely believe Indians it's a race that deserves a lot of the hate, but also deserves so much of the admiration. Because I genuinely feel so many Indian people, like sometimes, man, you go to the gym, you speak to these people, sometimes you see the way that they deal with sales, sometimes they're really greedy, they're really tight with money, sometimes they do smell. So for me, I feel like there's a lot of things that they do that sometimes does embarrass them. So I feel like sometimes they do deserve it. And I'm Indian as well, right?
Are you Indian or Sri Lankan?
I'm Indian, fully Indian.
You're fully Indian. I
Fully
thought you were
Indian.
Sri Lankan.
No. I speak Tamil. I speak
That's
Tamil.
crazy.
Fully Indian.
Yeah.
My dad's from Bangalore.
What made you think he may be Sri Lankan?
For some reason, I thought you were Sri Lankan.
Yeah.
We spoke and.
Yeah, fully Indian.
Is there any way
And I
to
speak
tell?
Tamil too. So I can. So I feel like in many ways, some of them do deserve it. Like I understand why people do that, but they're also some of the most unbelievable people. Unbelievable creativity, unbelievable at like the things that they accomplish despite what people say is extraordinary.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm gonna disagree with you on the point where you say that they deserve the hate. I don't think anyone deserves the hate.
I don't think they deserve
I
it
think
yet.
that
Yeah.
no one can really like if someone's to say something like, you know, curry, whatever, like it's not gonna really affect. But like
Yeah.
to the point where, you know, where it's derogatory, I feel like no one deserves that.
Yeah.
And like I feel like that's just used as a way by Western or whatever people just to bring them down, despite how like whatever they're good at. You know?
Yeah.
So
I guess what I'm saying is, no one deserves to be, you know, put down 100%. But it's like, for me, the only thing is like, sometimes I'm like, I get it. All I'm saying is sometimes I get it. Sometimes I see certain things. I see certain things online.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I'm not saying all of them do this. Every race does something like
Of
this,
course,
right?
yeah.
Like, for example, the other day I saw like a Uber driver, you know, does like, you know, he delivers food and in the elevator just takes a
seen
piss.
that
You
video
know,
as
stuff
well.
like that.
I saw that video as well.
And there's a lot of stuff like that. So like in ways, I think I get it, but I also believe they deserve so much admiration.
Correct,
Right?
admiration, but I feel like it's a small minority, you know, and yeah, it's a small minority. It's not the whole race. It might
Yeah.
be only like 20%.
Yeah.
If I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
But it's hard because there's only such a small population of Indians or whatever Sri Lankans in Australia. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I
It is
get
what
you.
It is, yeah.
I think one of the comments that the reason why that video that I posted went viral is because there's something very specific I said. I said on this video, someone is going to comment, just put the Uber in the bag, but don't worry, your kids will be doing that soon because you're all going to be Indian. So that I think that's why people lost it. But I think it's okay to be a little bit tongue in cheek, you know?
100%.
Yeah.
And like when I see stuff like that before, when I was younger, I'd be upset. I'd be like, how can they say that about me, like, or my race, or. But now I'm just like, it's cool because I'm gonna change that, and I'm sure there's hundreds of other people that are actively trying to change that narrative as well. So it's okay.
Yeah. Okay, so this brings me to a question that, you know, we really, really want to ask, and I think a lot of the audience wants to ask. So I had a few people call me and want to ask this question.
Yeah.
So we know that a lot of the content that you've put out, there's good messages in it, and you're being serious. There's some really good like messages in what you're saying.
Self-development, ways to
Self-development,
improve your life.
mindset, a lot of the stuff about rejection. I've seen that before. But some of the content, it's like, sometimes I feel like some people have said to me, they message me and they go, he must be trying to troll people. He must be trying to troll people. And if he's trolling and if it's satire, he's a genius. This is what people are saying. Yeah. So my question is it true that sometimes you are being a bit funny and you are being a bit of a troll sometimes?
I wouldn't say troll,
Yeah.
and I've had certain people come up to me and say things like, "Is this rage bait?"
Yeah.
But it can't be rage bait because everything that I say, I stand on. Like if you ask me about any video right now, I will tell you what my thoughts on it and what I think on it. It's my personality, right? And I feel like the reason most people are like maybe a bit baffled by it. It's because they're maybe not used to seeing an Indian guy's personality like that on camera.
For sure.
But
Yep.
there's many like me.
Yep.
There's many that have way funnier than me.
Yep.
Way more serious than me. And have that sort of personality. So yeah.
So let's oh, sorry, he's about to say.
There is one video I have to know. Shreyes.
Yeah, good. Awesome.
And I think it's my favorite video of yours. The 1,000 sheep, 1 lion.
hectic.
Was that any of that satire? Like the
Not-
message is true, but like
Yeah.
the delivery of it.
Not satire at all. That was one of my favorite videos. And
I love that. I love that you smile and you say that's one of my
Because
favorites.
it's like, I agree with the message,
Respect,
but
Shreyes.
like, I don't think you realize, like, in terms of comedic delivery, it's genuinely funny. Like, I'm not actually saying that to be disrespectful or anything. Like, I agree with the message. Like, you're right. But like, in terms of the craft of comedy, it was actually like genuinely hilarious. Like, can I break it down?
Yeah, of course.
Like the way the camera moves from you and then it comes back and then the scream, like it's genuinely funny. And I was showing someone that, and they were like, "Surely this is satire." I'm like, "I don't know," but like I agree with the message. Like you're right. There's a lot of people are sheeps, and you want to stand there, you want to be a lion, right? Was that am I right? And that's the message.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if you realize how funny you actually are, and I genuinely mean that. I'm not saying that to like mock you or anything. I think you genuinely have like some kind of comedic talent.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I've always like, from a young age, I've always been around people that are very humorous. Like my whole friend circle, they were very humorous, very intelligent. And like we'd always just like I can't be around too. Yeah. It's I would say
So here's a question I want to ask, and I want to get a bit. Yeah, go.
Before
Go
you
for it.
hold yours, because if we can ask them any question about videos you've made.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
jump on some of these videos then.
Yeah.
So you someone may have asked you more about this, but you made the video about Australia is the most racist country. Elaborate on your reasoning behind that.
great question. This is my own personal experience growing up, and it's not just my own personal experience. It's a lot of people that had the same, that are also Indian, ethnics and stuff like that. It doesn't mean that I hate Australia. I love it, and I'm glad that I grew up here. It's just like what we faced, growing up and stuff. So, and yeah, I knew that would probably spark a bit of controversy saying that, but like I said in the caption, it says it doesn't mean that I hate Australia. I love it. It was the best place to grow up, especially, and yeah, because it built a lot of thick skin, and it's made me who I am today. But it's just, yeah.
So I think that's where like that kind of video, that's where my mind would say, oh, okay, he must be trolling. He's just doing it for, the social media hype of it, because like using the word most, that's when it becomes like, okay, we're comparing it to every other country in the world. Then how can Australia really be the worst? Do we have proof to say Australia is the most racist country versus the US or, some Asian country where you've heard about things that go on in some Asian countries, something that happened during the pandemic and how certain races were treated during that time, or in whatever other places there are in the world, like saying the most racist, that's where it's like, okay, maybe he's just joking. Like how can we really believe this? Or believe that he
You're
believes
saying from
this?
personal experience.
My personal experience, definitely not. I wouldn't say definitely not a joke. My personal experience, growing up and stuff. So,
You know what, Shreyes? I don't think I've told you this, but I got mad bullied for being Indian. Always being called a curry muncher, would have my bag getting thrown in the bin. And I feel like in ways it's gotten worse because I think it's a bit of a trend, just jumping on the Indian hate bandwagon.
yeah.
So in that way, it's gotten worse only because of that trend. But in ways it's gotten so good, Like in ways, like I see so many like white people love Indian. Like back in the day, it was like, oh, Indian food. But now it's like everybody wants some. Correct. Everybody wants dosa. Everybody wants butter chicken. Everybody wants this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like in ways it's gotten better.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Do you think it's gotten better in some ways too?
100%.
Yeah,
It's way better than it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And there was a time, I made a video about this. There was a time after the World War II or something where everyone hated the Asians. Like they would make them names.
Yeah, for sure.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
And then out of a sudden, it was like a cool thing to be with an Asian girl, to have an Asian woman. It was like rappers would talk about it. Like I got an Asian woman, I can't say the word, but yeah, like that. So I feel like the same thing is happening with Indian girls now. Like a lot of people are talking about like, man, that Indian girl's actually pretty cute. Like I like her.
And then you made a video about that. Yes.
So I feel like
Some baddies out there.
Some Indian baddies.
Some baddies out there.
some cuties, yeah.
Some thickums. Okay, so, obviously, I think it would be safe to say that you're a polarizing figure online. Would you agree with that, or do you feel like that's not the case?
Definitely, I think. Well, that's what they can call it. They can call it polarizing. But I feel like the reason there's also a lot of opinions is because when you have a strong opinion, it's gonna rub off people the wrong way, right? When I say things like you need to be training, like you need to be insane, you need to have an insane physique. This is 25 to 30. This is the only time you can look like this. People are like, well, I can look like this at 40. I can look like this, but it doesn't. And I'm saying in the video, it doesn't count. This is the only time you need to be. Obviously, it's gonna rub off people the wrong way.
Yeah.
But I'm saying from the point that you're only gonna be in your 20s once. And this is the time where you can train your hardest. Once you get over 25, your health declines and you can't perform as you could in your younger days.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So we always say like the byproduct of speaking your authentic mind is controversy.
Yeah.
At times.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
people are going to disagree with it. They'll be upset.
Yeah.
Usually when you're trying to toe the party line or try to be best friends with everyone, that's where everyone likes you, but you're not really saying anything.
Correct. Yeah. You become like a doormat.
Yeah, doormat and all those kind of cases. So what has going viral taught you about human nature? I feel like being in your position and seeing how the world reacts to your content, it has to teach you something about human nature and how. I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, but like, is there any way you see humans now differently, or like the crowd now differently versus before you started going viral a lot?
Great question. I still don't think I haven't even gone that viral. I think only people are just like, we've only just get it, like literally just started.
Yeah.
I feel like in time, the message is going to be way bigger. But the question you were saying,
What has it taught you about?
What has it taught you about human
human
nature?
nature?
Yeah.
Just about humans.
it taught me that people don't like confident people. But then the people that are confident, they respect that. They also don't. They're also very insecure. People are very insecure. People like to hate. Just little things that I already knew about everyone. Like, if that makes sense.
People don't like confident people.
They like to gang up as well.
They love to
on
gang up.
people, and it's similar to human nature before. Like, when there's a group and they try and they'll sometimes gang up on the one person.
Yeah.
You've ever been in a group chat, right, where everyone's against you?
Yeah.
It's like it's finally everyone has their say. They get the thing off their chest.
Yeah,
but
they get the opportunity to start throwing
it doesn't
stones.
make me mad at all. When I first started getting the hate, it was foreign to me. I was like, this is crazy. What the hell? I don't want to show my face in public.
Yeah.
Then I sort of built the thick skin. I also built my understanding to hate. So I believe there's 3 stages of understanding hate. The first stage is you look at it and then you try and give reasons for why you're better than that person. You might look at the guy's Instagram profile and say, oh, this guy has a receding hairline, or this guy's 5'3", or he's Indian or something, Then the second level is looking at their profile and then thinking, I can see where this person has gone wrong. Like, I can see why he is. You have a level of understanding for why the hate is there. He might be doing this, or he might be not doing that. Okay. Then the third level of understanding, I believe, is looking at the person and saying, they don't understand me. That's why they hate. That's all. And you're not even mad. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So Shreyes, do you just literally just not actually read the hate comments at all?
I read
or
every
you read
comment.
you read,
You
all
read
of
every
them?
comment.
I read every comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes
Wow.
they make me laugh. Sometimes they don't. But yeah.
Yeah. I have to say, Shreyes, like, I think it's very easy to a certain degree not be affected when you're not looking at it.
Yeah, of course. You can hide
You
from
have
it,
to, yeah,
but
that's
eventually
right.
you're going to look at it anyway.
You're going to look at it.
Correct.
So I feel like what you've been able to do is develop a really, really thick skin around it,
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I personally feel like why I also think that people enjoy it is because they have something to talk about, right? Or like you have a laugh with your mate, so it helps them connect more when they've got someone that they can hate and bag out. So it makes them feel good. I get that.
Yeah.
How else have you dealt with this hate? Like, what else do you think when you, like, what's been your journey at dealing with the hate to where you are right now?
Okay. Because I'm always trying to improve my sense of identity, the stronger it is, I believe, the less nothing can break you.
Yeah.
Like, nothing can really break you. Only God can break you, or yourself. So yeah, that's my belief.
What is your identity now? Okay. When you look at yourself, how do you see yourself?
I see myself, it's a very deep question. but I can give a shorter answer. I just see myself as someone that's always trying to better himself. That's it, better myself, and I'm thinking bigger than me. I'm not thinking for myself. I'm not living for oneself. I'm living for that younger kid that I used to be, that needed the advice, needed the motivation. So I see that kid now, and I make the videos for that kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sorry for hogging the mic, Kev. I'm going to grab
No,
another
go
one.
for it, bro. Go for it.
Were you also surprised by the love that would come your way as well from the content? Because one of the things that me and Kevin talk about is, you know, whenever you are going through something and you're receiving hate, at that same moment, we may not be aware of it, but there's also support coming our way as well.
Always.
100%.
Yeah. Always.
And in your journey and seeing, you know, you taking those steps and the kind of responses you get, were you also surprised with the love that was coming your way as well? I looked at some of the comments, people were saying like, I want to lick his armpits. Like people want a piece of Shreyes, you know what I mean?
Different kind of love.
Yeah, but
100%, bro. 100%. And where there's equal love, there's also equal hate. But but what surprised me the most was when people would tell me like, Shreyes, you're the reason that I'm back in the gym. You're the reason that I've been sober for so long. You're the reason for this.
I've seen that.
So,
Remember, we went to the gym, and I remember a guy came up to you and said that to you, and I was just like, this is a really, really beautiful impact that you have.
yeah.
You
And
know?
then I realized, I was like, whoa, it's actually more powerful than, well, I need to go even harder now. But before I say that, there's one thing I just want to add on. I have been receiving a lot of people asking for training routines, training advice.
Yeah.
And it's got to the point now where I have created something. I'm
Hectic.
going to call it Shreyes Fit. It's
Yeah.
going to be a platform where training routines, training advice, and circle for people that want to get on that. And I will be launching that soon. So
Little plug there.
Stay
Little
tuned.
plug there.
That's it. Shameless plug. Love it.
Love it. That's cool, Shreyes. That's cool. Okay. So.
Boya,
Oh, do you want to go?
No, you go. You go.
I'm curious, and we don't like this is a very personal question, so we don't have to go into it. But we kind of touched on it before we started. We were talking about just before your reel of you having the Quran in your bag.
yes.
And you mentioned in your video you always like to have a piece of Holy Scripture with you.
Correct.
I guess I'm curious, what's your relationship with God? What is your understanding of God? What is your concept? What do you believe in? What do you believe is your concept of God? And where are you now in that journey?
Good question.
Great question. And I'm glad that you asked this question because I love God. I think God is beautiful and God is crazy. And I was born into this world as a Hindu. I didn't really understand the religion much. Then the older I got, I started seeing certain scenarios happen where I was like, someone has my back. I used to think it was my older brother, but I realized it's way more powerful than that, you know? So then I was like, okay, let's start praying to God. So I would pray to God as a creator. Then I was like, I need to further improve that and then I started to learn, delve deeper into a bit more religion and stuff. But yeah, I personally, I know that my relationship with God can be way stronger. It's not even that strong, you know? So I want to improve that before I die.
What do you mean by it can be like? What do you mean by it can be stronger? What does that look like for you for it to be stronger?
Okay, for it to be stronger means me praying more, building a much more intimate relationship with God. Not just praying because I want something, learning more about the sacred text, aiding others, trying to bring on people onto the power of God. Because I remember when I first found God, everyone thought I was crazy because I would talk about it. Like, and then I would be like, you got to pray to God, man. Like, and I would always develop this sort of like superiority complex where they weren't praying to God. And I would think I was better than them. I'd be like, you're stupid. God is real. And then I realized I can't say that. I'm not God. Who am I? You know? So then it got to the point where I was like, I'll try and aid anyone, bring them in to religion or whatever. But yeah.
How did you get into God? Was that a recent thing or?
I wouldn't say recent, but my parents have always been very religious.
Yeah.
We would always pray, but I wouldn't understand why. Like we would just pray out of fear, like God fearing, very God fearing people.
Yeah.
And then the one thing I liked about Christianity was that you built that relationship with God. So then I was like, you know what? Let me try build that. Yeah, let me just try build that relationship with God. And I would crack jokes with God. I have a sense of humor with God. I would literally talk about my day and stuff, and that changed everything. But yeah.
Wow.
That's beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
Shreyes, I have to say this.
Thank you, man.
You know, I know you have a lot of, you know, a lot of haters, a lot of positive comments, negative comments, but I have to say, man, I'm a fan of you. I really like you. I think you're a good guy. I think you're a humble guy, you know. And it's such a surprise when people see this image and they think they know who someone is.
Yeah.
And then you meet them. And I remember my brother was just like, this guy is so humble. Him and his brother are just such humble, polite people. And yeah, man, like I just have to say, like I really respect that. And I also feel like, and I always said this to Poya, me and Poya, we've talked about this before. And because we feel like there's a difference between how people see you online and how you really are.
Yeah.
And I said to Poya immediately, I go, I think I have a really strong idea why that is. If someone has an extreme event like a brother passing away when they're young, that forces them into either going into a really negative way or a really positive way, right? So my question is, if you're okay to talk about it, how did your brother passing away impact you?
Okay. It definitely changed everything because I was sort of forced into wearing shoes that didn't fit me. So I was always the middle child. I would always be led by my older brother, you know. He'd tell me, like, don't do this, do that. This is good for you. These people are not good for you or whatever. Or, like, you need to follow this. And he was really great at that. He was a very smart dude. He understood social dynamics extremely well. He knew what sort of friends to keep around him. He was
What was the age difference?
5 years.
5 years.
So he was a heart patient. He was going to go on the heart transplant to get a heart and lung transplant. All of this at 17. So it's very traumatic for a kid. But he was the strongest person. I look at these guys like Andrew Tate. I look at David Goggins for strength. But my older brother, no one knew he was disabled.
Yeah, wow.
Till he died. Like, no one knew. It was a big shock.
Wow.
And like I look at all these other guys. I should look at my own brother.
Yeah.
For mentality.
Yeah.
And he never showed any anything. No emotion.
He didn't show much pain or suffering.
No, he
or
would
anything.
hide it. He would hide it because he knew that, like, what mom and dad were going through, and so.
Wow. And yeah, so how did it impact you? Like,
if I'm gonna be honest, I didn't go through anything. My brother was the one that lost his life. He went through all the suffering. I didn't do anything. I just lost my brother.
Yeah.
He's the one. So, like, yeah.
Right. And how was the process, I guess, of losing him and getting to what were your thoughts when it happened? How did you process that? How was the grieving process?
Yeah.
How did you get over it? If you are over it, how was that kind of after post reaction of everything?
So I remember that night, the next morning I sort of had a dream where I woke up and I saw him, like, sleeping next to me. You know, all young kids, whatever. And then I woke up, I said, Sid, and then I went back to sleep. I woke up, he wasn't there. And then I was like, oh, like, he's actually passed away. It was tough. I think,
Wow.
Yeah, training definitely helped me get out of that place, man. Training, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So what did training do for you when you started getting to the gym? Like, what specifically did it make you feel? How did it help you process everything? Yeah.
Training was like an escape for me. It just allowed me to just deal with whatever problems the world gave me. You know?
Were you skinny before? Like super skinny or something?
I was athletic, but if you saw photos, you could be like, yeah, you were skinny. But I was athletic. It's like a 10-year-old body, 11-year-old body. Yeah.
What's your favorite body part to work out in the gym?
Right now, man, I feel like all of them, mate.
All of them.
I feel like all of them, because before it was chest. It was chest for like 6 years, literally 6 years. But
wow.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I remember when we worked out together. By the way, working out with Shreyes, right. I knew if I worked out with this guy all the time, I'll be jacked, because the intensity was up there. And you're very encouraging as well. Yeah. What's your top 5 favorite gym exercises?
Great question, man. I like the squat now, the leg press.
You like the squat?
Yeah, I like the
squat.
Yeah,
you enjoy it, eh?
Yeah, it's
really. Why do you enjoy the squat?
At the start, no one likes training legs, let's be honest. But because it's difficult, you learn to overcome that. Yeah. And then it's fun. Yeah. You're like, I'm going to challenge myself today. So, like, I like that aspect of it. I'm going to kill myself in the gym. Yeah. I'm going to go to, I've like, failure, squat thing. I like the chest flies, incline dumbbell press. Yeah, I like running as well. I haven't done any running in a long time, but yeah.
Right. But, I didn't do squat for ages, and then I did it, and then I slowly built it up, and then I was like, oh my God, when I'm walking, I feel the difference. Like you feel
lighter?
so much, you feel stronger. You feel like you got strong legs. So like, why did I do this?
It should do that.
You know?
For me, I have to do that because of my ACL injury. If you don't do it, you feel how weak and the lack of stability you have in your joints. So like I have to keep working out legs just for survival at this point.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, so that's interesting. Is there any, because obviously you being in the gym a lot, I don't know how you feel about like the bodybuilding community. You've made some content about them being the most insecure.
Yeah.
That being said, are there like bodybuilders that you look up to or that you like to research and like learn stuff from? Is anyone that kind of inspires you at all?
Of course, when I was younger, I used to look at guys like Arnold.
Yeah.
You know, like all the whole bodybuilding community, Callum Von Moger, all these guys, Ziz, little bit of everyone. You know, it was fun. And then
do you ever see yourself maybe entering like a bodybuilding contest in the future, like actually getting out there doing something?
There is one in October I want to do.
Yeah.
I did one before, but I want to do one again. So I'm gonna get ready, make sure I give that my A game.
Yeah.
Respect.
It would be filming that for content as well, like the whole process.
100%.
Yeah, hectic. So one thing that me and Josh were talking about, we want to know, what, you know, with your kind of rise of, you know, fame and virality and views and all that kind of stuff, what's going on with the girls, bro? Have you had any female attention coming in?
Great question. At the start, it was mainly guys like, yo, you're that guy, or you're that guy. Now I've noticed like a lot more girls are paying a bit more attention. Like, are you the guy that makes videos? So sometimes I smile. I get a little bit excited inside, but I'm like, whatever. We have a mission. You know?
We have a mission.
That's how you keep the girl, bro. Yeah.
So that's why, besides that, but yeah.
Okay, hectic.
I'm waiting for Pop the Balloon girls to come back. The audacity of them, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think you can do better than Pop the Balloon girls.
Thank you.
For sure.
I think you deserve better than that. If they're gonna pop the balloon like on TV, they don't deserve you, bro. They're gonna own you.
That's
and
true.
this ties into my next question. I was really curious before when you mentioned when the things you're looking for in a woman. What was it? It was
being a good mother.
Being a good mother.
Yeah.
And I love that, by the way. I think that's probably the most important trait. Why is that important to you? And what does that involve? What are the traits what makes a good mother? What makes you, when you look at a girl, you think to yourself, that girl's going to be a good mother?
Okay. I definitely think her relationship with her parents, how she is with children, how she interacts, does she have high emotional intelligence? Is she not going to is she gonna look past for herself and look for the family, the greater good of the family? Just little things like that. Like, I'm no expert, but I think in time, like, the more I mature, the more I'll understand what it is that I want. But yeah, right now I'm only 25. So
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so one more thing that we wanted to ask, and I always wondered this as well. What has your family's response to been about, like, everything that's happened? What do they think? Do they know? What's going on there with your family?
Great
parents?
question. My mum and dad are like, when are you gonna get a serious job?
Really?
Of course, bro. Got to be engineer. Yeah.
Ethnic, but I was doing the project manager role, no problem, for them. But then they're like, they always, how Indian parents are. They're always like, we want you to finish uni.
Yeah.
And when you finish uni, they're like, we want you to get a job. Okay, when you get your job, they're like, we want you to get married.
Yeah.
And it's like, when you get married, we want
You
you
got
to
a
see
kid.
grandkids.
Yeah.
So it's like they're always going from the next thing. So, but they're not like with the whole social media thing, because it's foreign to them. They don't really know.
Yeah.
But I'm telling them that, like, mum and dad, in time you'll see that what I'm doing is gonna be good. And so I hope I pray that they get to see through it.
Yeah. Wow.
Kevin, I want to add one thing though.
Yeah, sure.
You know how you talked about virality and things like that. I am going to launch something where I'm going to be almost like mentoring people on how to create better content, how to create content that hits, how to be more yourself on the camera, things like that. So that is going to be launched soon. So watch out for that.
Okay.
Hey, shameless
Plug
plug.
it. I love this.
Give us an
Shameless plug.
affiliate
Just brings it in.
Is there anything you wouldn't say on camera?
Yeah.
Oh.
Great question. I'm sure there's hundreds of things that I wouldn't say on camera, but yeah.
Do you ever get worried about being cancelled? Or being banned or something like that?
Yeah, of course. Like, I've got a few strikes on TikTok, but for the most randomest things. Like, I was riding a bike in India, right?
Yeah.
And there was 3 people on the bike.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be funny to show, so I posted on TikTok, and then
What's wrong with that? Yeah.
they flagged that as unsafe behavior. And I was like, what the heck? But it's in India, everyone does it, right? I thought it'd be funny.
Yeah.
And then there was another one where I posted a video where I was recording my friend in the car, and we're doing a parody of that video where he's like, "Why are you coming fast? Why are you coming fast? Why are you coming?" But then I sort of swore in the video, and then Instagram was like, "This is bullying." Also, not Instagram, but TikTok was like, "This is bullying," thing like that. So I was like, "Oh," but even if it gets taken away, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like I like to live a bit risky.
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
edge, you know?
I love it, man. I love to live
Yeah.
a bit risky.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're pretty much done. There's one question I really want to ask you because I feel like, I'm a life coach, so I psychoanalyze people, and I mean, me and us three just psychoanalyze people all the time. That's all we do. And one thing that I see in you, Shreyes, that you may not I'm sure you are aware of, is I can see that you're a bit of you're an original thinker. So that means that there's a lot of ideas and online content and educational pieces that's there. But I can see that you're someone who you listen to yourself. You have this intuitive call and you listen to this inner voice within yourself. Like, for example, at that time when you're talking about, I just had this thing where I want to pray to God, I want to talk about God. Where did that come from? Like you didn't like, read that on social media and get told that. It comes from within, right? So my question is this. How did you learn to listen to your inner true voice? Or what can you tell us about how to listen to your true inner voice?
I think it all comes down to sense of identity. Every day we have people trying to tell us who we are, who we aren't, who we should be. But if our sense of identity is strong, then we're most likely going to pick what we want to do, right?
Yep.
And that conscience, I believe, right? You know how you have that conscience inside, you get those thoughts. That's calling from God.
Yep.
Telling you like, sometimes you might feel like, well, I feel like shit because I'm not training. I feel like shit because I'm watching things that I shouldn't watch. I feel like shit because I'm over dopamine, too much dopamine.
Yep.
That's the calling from God to change, your inner calling. And also when you're on the right path, you might get a crazy thought where you're like, whoa, this is not a normal thought. And then you put it into action. So,
But where does this come from?
I believe that some might come from God.
Yeah. Got you.
very powerful.
And how did you develop the strong sense of identity?
Great question. Definitely through training. Always putting myself in uncomfortable situations. Trying to just improve my character and doing those and not getting comfortable, because the moment we feel like we know enough, that's it, we're done.
Yeah.
Like the moment I feel like, this body is enough, that's when I lose it.
Yeah. Always stay humble.
Always staying humble as well, because we know that it can get taken away at any moment. So it's like,
And Trez, what are your parents like?
Mom and dad.
Yeah.
Great question, man.
Yeah. Are they strict? Does they have a special type of characteristic? Yeah. What are they like?
I think at the start there was a lot of differences between us because Indian culture's here, Australian culture's here. But the more I grew up, I realized that I had the best parents in the world. I truly believe I have the best parents in the world.
Wow.
Not comparing to anyone else, but just the way they could have raised me. They've done everything in their best. That's what I believe. So.
Love
Nice.
that. Cool. I'm going to leave it to you guys. Is there any other questions that you guys want to finish on?
I do have some shadow play questions, but is there anything
Can
else?
I have some of that water before we do
Sure
that?
can.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Shadow play. This sounds like role play or something, man.
I haven't been on the podcast for a while. By the way, anyone who's hearing my voice who is like a regular listener, I'm happy to be back. Hope you guys
he's always here. Josh is always welcome. Yeah.
hope you guys enjoying hearing my voice again. But we used to always do there was a game called Shadow Play, which asks you very intense,
Very tough,
psychological
intense questions. Yeah.
that we would ask to each guest at the end of each episode.
Yeah.
I don't know, when was the last time we actually did that?
Oh, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
But if you got some,
So
throw
I
'em
thought
out.
we'll bring it back. If you're game.
Let's do it.
Okay. Easy. So to me, I'm thinking the first two, those seem like we can live and it's not going to be too intense, but
Oh yeah.
which one thinking, one or two?
I want to do two, but I don't know if he'd answer that honestly, because no one would. But let's ask it anyway.
Okay, we'll ask.
All
it.
right,
We'll
all
ask it.
right. Actually, we'll start with the easy one. What kind of person do you judge the most, and why do you think that triggers you?
What kind of person do I judge the most? And
Yeah.
why do I think that triggers you? The person that I judge the most is myself.
Wow.
Right.
Myself.
That is actually true. If you think about it, everyone kind of judges themselves a lot. Yeah,
It's a
that's
very
true.
self-aware answer. I like that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And Josh, you give him one.
Okay, mate. What's a weakness you'd never admit publicly, but you're okay hinting at here?
I think a weakness I could say it could be an element of people pleasing, you know, when it's not needed. It's not necessary, because nowadays I feel I come from a different generation, like my brother's generation, where we were taught about respect and things like that. But nowadays the youth, they don't have that. It's like, you know how you talked about things like where you come into the room and you shake, you put a hand, you greet everyone with respect. You know?
Yeah.
You know, you ask their names and stuff like that. I feel like it's a dying characteristic.
It is.
We're a dying breed now. So I think that us as men, we need to make sure that we teach this to the people, the future generations.
Yeah.
Because think about it, it's going to go away. Like, you've seen how the people are now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Do you think that's also a cultural thing? Because I wonder if that's like,
definitely.
yeah, I think more
Definitely
our
cultural.
cultures, and I feel like more Western cultures don't have that as much as well.
Mm.
Although I feel like it's making a comeback now. But yeah.
Well, I think it's making a
Feel like it's
comeback.
making a comeback?
Yeah,
Where do you see it?
I feel like the youth are like kind of disenfranchised. I feel like the youth are disenfranchised with the current generation.
Yeah.
I think it's all cycles. So I guess operating in this model of like, I guess progressivism versus conservatism, if I'm using that word right. I feel like society always swings. So you have certain generations which are a lot more conservative, and then you have the generation that's super progressive, and I think the pendulum just always swings. I think right now we're seeing a swing towards a very conservative society.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the youth are sort of leaning that way. They're a bit more
They need
right-wing.
it. Yeah.
And then I think what's going to happen is it's going to go too far, which is kind of happening now. And I think it's going to swing back, and I think that's just how it goes.
Do you feel
Yeah.
like something will reset that? Do you feel like something could reset that, or
Or like set it in a balance, or
bring it other side?
It'll always do that.
I
It'll
think
always
it's just
do
when it
that.
hits like a really far point. I mean,
Yeah. What's
Like-
the far point?
So
That's
for
a-
example,
Yeah, I get what you
if
mean. Like, yeah, what do you think is going to
what's the
actually
far
cause
point?
it? Is there something that's going to happen in society that's going to be like a
So,
very...
so
Oh,
for
I've
example,
got-
what happens is in Nazi Germany was the world getting so intense, and all of a sudden the swing back of that is they're very, very loving, and no, everyone needs to be treated with respect, and it keeps going on this wavelength. Like, for example, you see like the KKK. And whenever there's the KKK, all of a sudden the Black Lives Matter movement becomes very, very big. So it's constantly swinging.
I think
You
the
know what I
best
mean?
example is LGBT, because
Yeah.
back in our generation, if you were gay, you had like you didn't have it easy. You would have got roasted. Like
Nah,
gay
so bad.
kids we went to school with who were gay got like mercilessly bullied.
Yeah.
Were abused. Like you couldn't. Like I know I've got friends. I wouldn't say we're friends because we don't really talk anymore. Just we lost contact. But I knew people that were trans when I was in uni, and that was a very hard experience for them. There wasn't as much acceptance. And so what happened is, as a society, we wanted to be more accepting towards those people.
Yes.
So we embrace them all, which I don't think was necessarily a bad thing. Regardless of my personal views, I think everyone has the right to live how they want to live without impacting others. So you do you sort of thing. And then what happened is I think we went way too far, and then we hit the whole like the whole like woke thing now. And now what we're seeing is people kind of rebelling against that and pushing back against that. I mean, that's that's part of why Trump got in.
Yeah,
And I think
that's
just the nature of like culture. It's just
Yeah.
it's going to go. And I think we're already seeing people kind of turn against like that hard right sort of thing now.
Yeah.
Because it's probably going a bit too far. And I think that's just how it is. It's you reach it. So for example, the LGBT, we reach a point where it was almost like if you weren't, whereas you're forced to accept it regardless of whatever your views are.
Yeah.
And then people start to push back. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a pendulum. Like,
Yeah.
like another way to say it
There's
is like
gonna be extremes, right?
there's gonna be extremes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
for example, like the last 100 years have been feminine. Like it was. Like,
feminism, yeah, great example.
Patriarch. Like the man is the leader of the house. You know, he's the one who is almost like seen as greater than the woman. He's the leader. He's this. He's that. And then there is probably in the last 20 years, the woman needs to be the boss and boss babe and all this kind of stuff. And then the rise of that, the pendulum for that was Andrew Tate. You know, Andrew Tate and Trump and becoming these strong, you know, we need religion, we need conservatism. So it's a swing that keeps going left and right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There you go.
I just want to get a few more in. In 10 years' time, where do you see yourself in 10 years' time? If the world doesn't end, where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
Good question.
Okay. Sorry.
I'll probably be 35 years old.
Yes, sir.
I might have children, might not.
Little Shreyes, yeah.
Yeah, little Shreyes. Yeah, like that's a very deep question, but
Certain things you would have wanted to achieve, or any
great question.
industry, or
That's the thing. You know, the crazy part. Like, if I looked at myself at 12 years old and thought, would I be the person today? I would never expect that. So I don't even know.
yeah.
That's the crazy part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to have to end this. It's been an amazing podcast. We've really had fun. We just want to end on one question. What is the impact that you want to have on the world?
Okay. The impact that I want to have on the world.
Yeah.
I want the world to be able to see the world how I see the world through my lens. Like with this amount of confidence, this much positivity, this much feeling, love for people, gratitude. And I believe that they can all attain that if they just prioritize certain habits. And these habits I talk about on the daily in terms of like on my Instagram and stuff like that. And the world would be a much better place. And everyone would feel way better. They won't feel as like they need certain superficial things to feel happy. They won't need materialistic things to feel happy because they'll have a stronger sense of identity. So that's what I want to try and empower people.
Beautiful. Cool. And where can people find you, Shreyes?
They can find me on Instagram, Shreyes.s, and TikTok as well. I will be starting a YouTube soon.
Nice.
And yeah.
Love it. Love it. Cool. Shreyes, it's been an amazing podcast. We love having you here. One day we'll have another conversation.
Thank you for having me, man.
No, it was
All you
awesome.
guys
It was
are.
awesome. Thank you, guys. See you soon.